Today, ocean liners don't play a huge role in society or economy anymore. They are more or less relics of the past, with only a few liners existing to this day. But are they really just interesting for a bunch of ship nerds? Are they really a thing people should just forget? Not in the slightest. In this video, we will find out why knowing ocean liners and their history is important to understand nowadays world and society, and why they are a topic that deserves much more attention, even in modern times. Back in the day, when airplanes weren't a thing yet, the continents were connected by shipping routes. If you wanted to go from the UK to Australia, for instance, you had to book a passage on an ocean liner to get there. The oceans were permeated by shipping routes, which could take you anywhere as long as there was a harbor available. This network of routes gave people the possibility to travel and even to migrate to other continents. The USA were heavily influenced by the big migration movement in the 19th century and later. Many people coming from European countries were looking for a better life in the New World and were going there by an ocean liner. In the consequence, lots of American families today have European ancestors who traveled across the North Atlantic on board ships like Mauretania, Aquisition, or Olympic. So it can be stated that the ocean liner business was the foundation of modern society. Society was not the only profiteer of ocean liner travel. Another important player was the world economy. In order to work properly, the economy needed goods that were distributed to their respective places all around the world. Of course, cargo ships were playing a huge role in this process. But ocean liners also could carry a lot of cargo in their holds. This fact contributed to the acceleration of product chains and even made delivering messages faster. Not only did ocean liners carry mail in an acceptable amount of time, they also were equipped with wireless telegraphs at the beginning of the 20th century. This made communication even faster, which was very important for many companies and the stock market, because businessmen who were traveling for business reasons could be reached and were able to respond despite being days away from their destinations. Through all this cargo movement and instant communication, the ocean liners played their part in accumulating lots of wealth in the Western and European countries. This wealth has a great influence until this day. Today we enjoy ourselves during our vacations. Some of them may lead us to book a voyage on a cruise ship. There, we trust the measures and installations for security as well as the crew who should be able to handle emergencies in a proper way. But what we tend to forget is that all these security standards we profit from today have been paid with many lives in the past. As already mentioned, ocean liners once were the way to go. There were hundreds, if not even thousands of liners in service. So it is not a surprise that sometimes there was an emergency. There were lots of different catastrophes at sea, reaching from well-known disasters like the sinking of the Titanic to more unknown incidents, like the fire on board George Philippar. All these disasters led to improvements of the security standards at sea, and finally to the standards we have today. So one could say that ocean liners have led the way to nowadays cruise ship safety standards. Ocean liners were not just means of transportation, they also were symbols of status for their respective home countries. This led to a race between different countries like Great Britain, Germany, France, the Netherlands or Italy for the fastest or most luxurious liners. To be at the top of ocean liner business attracted more and more the attention of the rivalry countries. To make sure that their ships were state-of-the-art and to carry their national pride into the world, their big shipping companies designed opulent and truly staggering ocean liners like the Bremen, the Queen Mary and the Normandy. Designers and engineers put them together to overcome the limits of technology and style. Architecture from the countries was implemented into the ships, but they also inspired many people through their interiors. The big and famous ocean liners were points of focus for the designs of the past and the designs that were about to come. In long gone days, ocean liners could be seen as microcosms. Different classes of society could be found on board in different passenger classes. There was the upper class traveling in first class, as well as the simple working class traveling in third class. Sometimes these constellations on board inspired people for new innovations. Albert Ballin, head of the famous Hamburg America line, introduced a fairly new concept on ships like SS America and SS Kaiserin Augusta Victoria. Small portions of the incomes through each ticket were spent to fund a ship's doctor. At the end, all passengers of all classes funded a medical facility on board, which could be used by all passengers if necessary. This concept didn't just work for Hamburg America line, it was also adapted by most other companies. To this day, this system exists. Albert Ballin laid the groundwork for a thing we call today public health insurance, or in German, gesetzliche Krankenversicherung. I think we can conclude that ocean liners had a great influence on our modern world. For all their achievements, they deserve to be remembered more than they are today. People often just know some of them, especially for their disasters. But only to know them for their failure doesn't pay them proper homage. So if you are an ocean line enthusiast, try to carry their stories into the world. They definitely earned that.